joyful. Anyhow, when will this day be mine? This is the guiding star of our meditation tonight. When will this day be mine? That all that which is in between me and my goal will be removed. When will that day be mine? That I can be 100% sincere with all, without the slightest tinge of hypocrisy or prejudice, so to speak. When will that day be mine? When will my consciousness be so sensitive and so loving that I will touch the other person's heart and be able to offer the heart to Krishna like a very beautiful, a representative of that divine love. Because Krishna loves everybody. So we are all connected in this love. Nobody is excluded. So intensive is this love, prema bhakti, that it will make us supremely joyful, even higher than the amrita of self-realization. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that he himself is the nectar of self-realization. Brahmano hi apratishtaham amrita vyāvāvyasya cha. Says, of all the nectar which is conceivable, the supreme ambrosia, it can only be understood in his all-surrounding divine brahman-energy. That is the supreme, the personification of happiness. That is Brahman. And still, it is glorified on one sense as the highest amrit, and at the same time, it is minimized by the glorification of love. Selfish feeling of liberation, even though it is great nectar to understand I'm eternal spirit soul, I belong to the world of consciousness, I do not belong to the world of matter. Wow, what relief! What greatest news can there be? I'm swooning in ecstasy. I'm Brahman, I'm eternal. I am within myself. I have everything I need. Bhagavad Gita emphasizes this very valuable state of consciousness, which you can achieve once you give up the hankering for material things and the lamenting for not having obtained them. Once you have embraced the spirit of renunciation. Anyhow, Bhagavad Gita deals with it at length, but it makes a clear statement. Bhaktyā abhijānāti yāvān yas. Krishna says, you can only understand me with love. Bhaktyā abhijānāti yāvān yasmi tattvataḥ. The truth, tattvataḥ, the highest truth is that only by love can you understand me. In other words, there's nectar and there's something higher than nectar. You have to get that point clear. This is very important for your spiritual life. Very, very important. The greatest nectar is there, and love is much higher. Now you want to get the nectar or you want to get the love? That is your choice. When will that day be mine that I will choose the love and I will not choose the nectar? There's no doubt about the nectar. Yes, this is what is stale and pale sensual satisfaction compared to the ambrosia of Brahman. But Brahman realization compared to love is compared in the scriptures to the water contained in the imprint of a calf in the mud to the ocean. Bhakti rasa is compared to an ocean. And the happiness of Brahman is compared to that water contained in the footprint of the calf. How is it possible? How can the greatest nectar be compared to something almost nil or almost insignificant? Is love really so big? Is love really so great? Is love really so enchanting that you can even forsake nectar for it? Is love the only key to God? Is that the only thing which he's looking for? Is he looking for rich people, beautiful people, famous people, who know a lot of skills in the material world? Is he keen for the chanters of the Vedic mantras? The yajnik brahmanas who are great in sacrificial performances? What does God care for? He is just like you. He only cares for love. Because you are his part and parcel. You are a fragment of his love. And you also don't care for anything else but love. I can give you many evidences for that. Because when the people in this material world fall in love, of course, that is a perverted reflection. That's why it says fall in love. So it starts with falling. It's not so auspicious, right? So they fall in love and then the trouble starts. But when they supposedly fall in love, they give up intellectual consideration. They give up intelligence. They say love is blind. People forsake kingdoms for the sake of love. There's so many. And how many people give up their body, their own physical body, because they could not obtain their love? They ask somebody, will you marry me? And she says, sorry, not you. She said, no. She rejected me. I was ready to give my life to her. And she simply said, no. So nobody in the world deserves my love then. Cuts off his head. Many people do that. That's quite popular. Out of moroseness for some lost love, they kill themselves. So, love is very powerful impact on life. Love gives a certain ecstasy feeling. And love gives a lot of hope. Love encourages great amount of risks. You know, in the material world, nobody wants to give you a penny. If you want to get some money from somebody, you know that's a difficult job. You have to say, please, can you give me 5 euros? I need 5 euros. No, why should I give you 5 euros? Please, I need it. Maybe he gives you. Very difficult job to get any money. But when a person gets married, he accepts immediately half of what I have now belongs to you. Of course, it used to be that way. Nowadays, they marry in separation of their properties. So they say, I love you, but I don't give you what I have. That's another strange situation. But anyhow, basically, it was understood that if you marry somebody, whatever you have belongs to that person just as much. And when the father has something, it also belongs to the children. That's understood. In love, you don't have these reservations, restrictions, and all that. That's why a real devotee, he does so many things for Krishna, he makes so many efforts to do beautiful things with Krishna with all his resources. He don't hold back any of the resources of his mind, his body, his intellect, his whatever he has by God's grace. He considers it, this belongs to God and should be used for God's satisfaction. So, love is a powerful instrument even in the mundane sphere. Very powerful and very preoccupying as well. But anyhow, when we are talking about spiritual love, that is the only key to the heart of God. And why should you not love God, by the way? Isn't He the one who is loving you more than anyone else? Well, first of all, He's giving you everything you have. You are coming out of His heart. You are a son of God. You're coming from His heart. And you think He doesn't love you? I mean, even you love yourself. So why should He, who has created you with your individuality, not love you, who's loving Himself you so much? And because you're loving yourself, automatically you're also loving God. Of course, please don't get it wrong. Don't think that I'm saying that you are God. But if God created you and you love yourself, you also love the one who created yourself. You also love the one who's feeding yourself. You also love the one who's providing us a planet like Mother Earth to walk upon. You also love the one who's supplying you water, air, flowers. How can you deny that God loves you? And how can you deny that you really love God as well? You have just been misguided. You have just been in bad association. Then you have heard so many foolish things like God is dead. One American newspaper wrote, "Oh, God is dead, but Bhaktivedanta Swami brought him back. And now the people are chanting and dancing joyfully, chanting the names of the Lord and dancing in the streets." How is this possible? Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Satya Kabunai Shravanadi Shuddha Chite Karaye Udai. think it's a Padma Purana who says that love for God is in your heart already. It's a potential. It just has to be awakened. By what? Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte. You have to hear, you have to listen to the heart, to the words coming from pure-hearted people. Those who are pure in purpose. Those who love God and talk about God. When you hear from them, it goes like, wow. I was just awakened to a beautiful reality. Love is the highest, and I am part of that love, and I have that capacity to love, and I can love Him as I love all of you, because you're all part of Him. And if I don't love you, then He will not accept my love either, so I better love you. That's our deal. I love you because Krishna loves you, so if I want to love Krishna, I better love you. Now this is a kind of a reasoning, but you see it's more than a reasoning, it's a fact. How can you not love your brother and sister? Can you tell your father, Father, Mother, you're so great, but this silly brother you brought into existence, could you please remove him from my eyesight? Then Father will say, what kind of an obnoxious son are you? You don't like your brother? What's wrong with him? Maybe he needs your help? Whatever. He's your brother. A blind uncle is better than no uncle. So whatever deficiencies your brothers have, you should not. That's exactly why there's black people, white people, yellow people, fair hair, black hair, blue eyes, brown eyes. So what? So you learn to love all of them. And aren't they lovely? Well, maybe you will say, I have not yet fallen in love with an octopus. Well, if that is so, you never really got to meet an octopus. Because if you would have really gotten to know one, boy, would you love that guy. And the octopus, he's so far superior to any human being. An octopus, he can change the color of his skin and the texture of his skin in any way he wants according to the environment. And he's not transparent. He has an ability of changing his colors and his skin. I mean, all you can get is Gänsehaut. Huh? That's pretty boring and you hardly ever get it. Huh? But the octopus, he can do anything. He can make his skin look like coral, like plants. And he can be half coral, half plant. I don't know how they do that. But I also don't know how my hair is growing, so it doesn't really matter anything, you know. It just means we don't know much. But don't tell me you can't love an octopus. Everything God has done is so lovely. Lovely. And you see, love is an urge. We have an urge to fill the belly. We have an urge to listen to some music. We have an urge to smell good smells. We have different types of urges, cravings. The inside, I really want. Pushes us forward. But the urge to love somebody, that's too much. It drives you nuts. You want to find somebody. People are completely obsessed. My love, my love, my love, my love, my love. Where's my love? I have no love. I'm discouraged with my love. Because this is the most closest thing towards loving God. is to love somebody in this world. And of all the love in this world, the closest to divinity is the love of a mother for her children. That's the purest version of mundane love. But the love the devotees can have for Krishna, the whole Bhagavata Purana is about that love. It is called Gopi Bhav. And that love of the gopis for Krishna has been discussed for centuries and millennia. Because everybody has heard about it. Do you know that the Vedas, after all description of great rishis, demigods, avatars, my God, the Vedas have described so many powerful people. Still they say that the most powerful of all the living entities is a little village girl born in the Yamuna on a golden lotus. She comes from Raval. And that girl is so powerful and so special that all loving notions and cravings of the whole creation come from her. And there's one very pretty young boy. He is called Shamsundar. And he is the player of the all-enchanting flute. But listen to that. Because love has its own mystery, when this Shamsundar was playing on his flute, he was attacked by Cupid. Cupid started shooting arrows at him. Oh, I will conquer this young boy. But instead of that, Cupid was conquered, and his arrows and his bow dropped on the ground. And he said, too much. I can't do this one. His flute playing has disarmed me. And he fell in complete love with Madan Mohan. That's the meaning of Madan Mohan. He's the conqueror of Cupid. But that divine Madan Mohan has been conquered by this village girl called Madan Mohan Mohini. She who has conquered the conqueror of Cupid, that is the divine girl. So in other words, after all the glorification of all the laws and regions and powers of the creation, the conclusion of the Vedas is that the supreme controller and the supreme love is a girl from Braj. Now you may think about that whatever you want, I don't care. But don't tell me that this is male chauvinistic. Because it's not. The Supreme Lord himself cries for the love of Radha. He cries for her. If Radharani is upset with Krishna, Krishna is in big trouble and he's God. Now you may say that this guy is mad. What is he talking about? How does he dare to speak about God in such a way? And I can only excuse myself. All the fault is with my guru. Because that's what he taught me. And I'm an innocent guy. I just heard about it and I got mesmerized. I got silenced. All my intellectual nonsense, all my speculation, all my grandeur, all my megalomaniac behavior, all my Eurocentric, shameful contamination. It was all washed away when I heard about this beautiful girl of Braj. I said, what? We worship a little girl of Braj? She is the supreme? She is the fountainhead of Mother Earth, fountainhead of Mother Nature, fountainhead of Saraswati, fountainhead of Durga, Kali, fountainhead of all female powers, fountainhead of all souls. Well, I really thought that was a lovely idea. I really thought this was curious. Let me find out more what this all about. And Krishna, in the Bhagavad Gita, he says, Sarva dharma parijajya mamikam saranam vraja angtang sarva papebhyo mokshaishyami masucha. He says, abandon all variety of religion and just surrender to me. Do not fear, I will protect you. So one time my Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada, was talking to one of his godbrothers and confidants, and they were talking about the meaning of this verse, and they were talking, what does it mean? Krishna teaches Dharma. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. Krishna says, I'm coming to bring the principles of Dharma. And then he says, abandoning all types of Dharma, just surrender unto me. What is he talking about? How can he first establish Dharma and now he's going to tell us, forget about Dharma? Then Srila Maharaj said, this can only be a referral to the gopis. Because when Krishna plays his flute and he calls the gopis to come and dance with him, they're not his married wife, they're young girls, and he's calling them in the night to dance with him. This is not appreciated. How can a young boy take young girls into the forest at the dead of night and they're not his wives? It's considered something wrong. But Krishna, when he plays the flute of love, he's actually telling us that we belong to him. We do not belong to Germany. We do not belong to England. We do not belong to the human race. We do not belong to the Catholic congregation or to the Jewish congregation or to the Hindu congregation. We do not belong to our family and friends. We do not belong to our bank accounts. We do not belong to our prestige and self fantasies upon our own importance. We only belong to him. So when he calls you, just go. Don't think twice about it. He's calling you, go. But what will the family say? Doesn't matter, go. What will the society say? They'll say, you have so many commitments. Forget about them. Go. You love him? You feel He's calling you, He's God, and you want to make any conditions? This is a philosophy which Lord Krishna is teaching us in his Bhagavad Gita. He's teaching us that only those who love Him can understand Him, can reach Him. Of all the yogis, the one who loves me and serves me, He's the greatest of all yogis. Yoginam api sarvesham matkatenantaratmana. Shraddhavam bhajate yuma. Those who have faith in me and want to serve me and love me. Those who have no objection. They're ready to surrender. Mahabharata, the great story of India. There you can find that. The story of Krishna is there very clearly described. Who is Krishna? Why is everybody worshipping Him? Why is He accepted as God? Why His pastimes, His childhood pastimes in Vrindavan are glorified in all the Indian culture? Every temple is full of ornaments and poetry and dances. Everything is connected with Krishna. So this love which you have inside of you, it is the greatest thing on earth. God wants your love. He doesn't want your bodies. Of course you can use your body for Him also, but your body is just going to grow old and going to die. But He wants you eternally. He wants your love. God is more eager for your love than you're eager to be with God. That's my conclusion. You see, God is in want by His kindness. We are not in want because He already loves us. But He's in want because we don't love Him. We have that potential. We could love Him. Indirectly we're loving Him. And we think when we love the opposite sex, we think, oh, I love her, I love him so much. But this love, that is not the pure love. Therefore, it will not satisfy your heart. But it's an indication that you want to love. Therefore, Professor Sanyal, a very wonderful Vaishnava in our teachings, he wrote the erotic principle of unalloyed devotion. In pure devotion, there's an erotic principle. What is that principle? That is falling madly in love with God. And that surrender is on the highest platform. And therefore, what you may call romanticism, that's called rasa in the Vedas. It's the science of rasa, the science of devotion, emotion. And that rocks through your hearts like hurricanes over the ocean. When the rasa starts rocking your heart, there's no way back. Therefore, Prabodhananda Saraswati says, watch it, careful. Do not watch this little blue boy playing in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj, because if you get a glimpse of him, you'll be finished. You'll never be able to go home to enjoy your television series, your squash playing, your football World Cup, your Lamborghinis. You will not be able to enjoy any of that anymore. You will not care for anything but this divine love. You will be vanquished, conquered. That is the intensity of the topic. I actually don't like to cite this verse because maybe people get afraid. But it's there in the scriptures. The warning is given. If you don't want to love God, don't go and look at Him. He's going to conquer you. He's going to kidnap you. You'll be lost. You can never go back. You can never be the same enjoyer of the same material illusion anymore. But my good news for you is that your love is the greatest. Of course, God's love for us is much greater than your love, but your love will find the greatest fulfillment when you turn it towards God. It'll become an amalgamation which is so intense that birth, old age, disease, and death will be wiped out forever. And that's not easy to wipe out. My God, who knows how many thousands of lifetimes we are already passing through one body to the other. And that will all be wiped out when your love is uniting with God's love. You'll become one with God. Not by losing your identity, by acquiring the ecstasy of His joy as your top concern of existence. That is prema bhakti. Nothing more to worry about. No separate interests. So, come with us to the world of love. Your intellect will not have great importance there. But still you can have a little bit of it along with you, just to organize the devotional plans. Like we are going to Vrindavan and we try to do something, make ourselves useful, to see, to get a smile on Srila Prabhupada's face. Because Srila Prabhupada loved Vrindavan like anything. He loved the Yamuna, he loved Sevakunja, he loved Radha Damoda, like anything. So, if you are connecting in that way, there's a lot more to say. But I only say one thing. When, or tell me when will that day be mine? This is top priority and top secret. And if you have heard it today, it must have been meant to be that way. I don't know what you're going to do with it. You can try to forget it real quickly. go back and turn on the TV again. The blurring sounds of the waste of energy and love. There's no love in the TV. There's no love in the supermarket. And there's no love in the slaughterhouses or in the hunters' camps. There's no love in the places of intoxication. There's no love in the illicit sex relations. So what you're looking for? That you find in Krishna love. I wish to be able to reach your heart and to convey to you that message that eternally you will be with God if you simply open your heart to Him. And that being with God eternally is really a message which comes from my heart, because I'll meet you there as well by His grace. So if I go to the heart of God, I'll meet you and stay with you also forever. And that motivates me. Separation is a terrible thing. That's why in the Vedas also separation has been shown and demonstrated. And Krishna himself is devastated by separation. Can you imagine? God himself suffering the pangs of separation. Ramchandra suffering the pangs of the separation. That when I love somebody in this world, I already feel pain if I cannot be with that person. Maybe we are fighting for the same transcendental goal in distant places, and that it's a remedy. It overcomes some of the pain of separation. But separation is something, it's an indication that there is some very wonderful love. So God is managing the tattvataḥ, or the world of union and separation. And that's what birth, old age, disease and death is all about. The magic mystery kingdom of union and separation. And now we are together and we are so happy. And tomorrow, I don't know. Whether I'm going to live tomorrow or you live tomorrow, less I know. What a threat. There's only one remedy. Uniting in eternity. And it's possible in love alone. And what is the problem? Why are you so doubtful about it? When all which is waiting for you here is repeated. Deceptions. Don't make your life ordinary. Don't think your love has no value. Don't think that money is more important than all this what we are talking about. Don't think that politics or sports have anything valuable to listen about or to entertain. What fills the sound of the mundane universe is the intense repetition. of the same old story. So Halada, what's happening to our Bhagavad Gita? Is it ready for print? Anyhow, now it's time for you. Any question you have? I'm not very qualified to talk about all these topics. But my Guru Deva and the scriptures, they're giving these hints. And I wanted you to at least have an idea that such things exist. Yes, Radhika.
Ich habe jetzt keine Frage, Gurudev, aber ich wollte noch mal ansagen, weil wir jetzt alle hier so schön versammelt sind, dass morgen um 10 Uhr die große Yatra-Easter-Gosti ist, dass alle Bescheid wissen. Also alle herzlich eingeladen.
Tomorrow is an Easter Gosti for serving Berlin and Europe worldwide. All you are invited.
Already for the class, 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Czech Yatra is also
Starts at 8.
Czech Yatra also included?
Yes, it's Europe.
Czech Yatra is also Europe.
No, it's same parallel to the Brahman.
Yes. And those who are not from Europe, they are also invited. Lakshmi ji, the goddess of fortune, she loves Narayan so much that eternally she's massaging his feet. Yes, Radha.
Yeah, I want to ask, because you said, don't make you, this point, don't make you live ordinary, no? So it could be, sound to me like one should do some crazy things. I mean, then it would be not ordinary. But it should be also in a good way, not ordinary. I mean,
I didn't catch the logic.
I mean, you said, don't make your life ordinary. It means for me, you don't do it in a way like everybody's doing his life. I mean, every ordinary person. But then it must be somehow different to that. I mean, to say life is not ordinary could be a crazy person here also is not doing ordinary things maybe. But it should be in the right way. I mean, I want to specify this point more. This is the question.
That curiosity exists. People think that they have to do something real crazy to get the kick out of life. But the peak point of this material enjoyment is the sexual orgasm. And the peak point of the self-realization is the Brahman realization. And the peak point of the bhaktyā is eternal service to the Lord unconditionally. So there's different things which may bring a person to do a certain thing because he aspires for a certain peak experience. Any other question?
Maharaj, you talk a lot about this love and very pure love and pure devotion and love to God and God loves us. And that's fine, I mean that's understood, that exists and that's also the goal. But we are living in an imperfect world, and of course as you said also that love between us does not exist, at least not in normal circumstances. And well, that's how it is, that's how we are placed in this life and we have to deal with that. And of course we have these goals, as you mentioned, but given the point we are here at this stage, given these circumstances, maybe you could just say a few practical points that we should do to get there. Because we won't just get there just by thinking about love, so what do we do?
Oh, we had a beautiful Istagosti about that today, with long lists of conceptions, what can be done, how it should be done, what the temple's duty are, and what the duties of those who live in the temple. I recommend to you to take a peek on our whiteboard, which is, I don't know if it's there still, or maybe they took it upstairs. It's in the hallway. We can see what was our main recommendations. But since you're asking it in the class, a practical hint is that you have to find somebody who will give you fulfillment in your expectation according to your cherished ideals. We need to find those who can teach us what we start appreciating to be a goal to be achieved. And in order for that to manifest, we have to pray. So chanting Hare Krishna is really the essential function of purifying our mind and asking for grace to descend upon us. So therefore, whoever chants Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, he has a good chance of entering further and deeper into these realms. And reading the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam and the Mahabharata is another very helpful thing. And associating with those who live according to such principles are very recommendable. And only eating food which has been offered to Krishna. That's essential. But if you want to be part of a temple and organize a temple well, to get this strength and this help in others, on that blackboard, on this whiteboard, you'll see some of the top concerns, making things work. And we have another one in Istagosti planning schedule. There's all the things we would have to take care of if we wanted to serve Berlin people and German people better. In other words, there's a great amount of schedules and itineraries to accomplish. The agenda is, Krishna's agenda is lengthy and includes each one of us. Are you satisfied with that? Any other question? Yes.
I have a silly question.
Silly question.
Okay. Gurudev, you said God wants our love. And isn't God supposed to be somebody who is kind of self-sufficient and somebody who doesn't need or want anything?
Yes. And still he wants our love. That is the magic about God. Because that's the way he is. He's love hungry, and so he has given all this love into us, and now he's given us a chance to give it to him. I can't come to any other conclusion than that. But he's also Atmarama, he's also satisfied within himself. That's another feature. God can have many contradicting features, and no problem for him. Especially in such a realm. What's the problem? Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu clearly makes a statement that Krishna, the Supreme Lord, he's simultaneously one and different. Achinta Beda Aveda Tattva. This is that he is the most distant and the most closed at the same time. He's everywhere and he's nowhere. He's the supreme energy and he's the supreme love. And in the two levels he fulfills different functions.
Yeah, and another question. Because it's about love, no? You said the ocean of love, no? In comparison to the auto-realization, it's like an ocean of love, no? The bhakti path. So does it mean you have to be always with many people or surrounded with huge, volume of, exchange?
Let's reduce that question to what your spiritual master wants you to do. If he wants you to do a particular thing, then you should do that. That will be the best for you. And if you cannot understand why he wants you to do that, then ask him again. You say, no, it's very hard for me. I want to be alone. Maybe he'll give you a service just by yourself. Maybe the spiritual master gives you a service just by yourself if you are a very lonely, liking person. There's no hard and fast rules. When Dhruva Maharaj went for self-realization, he went into the forest to be just by himself to practice his search for the Lord. We invite you all for taking some prasadam upstairs. Thank you so much for being here and participating in our meeting at the feet of Gandharvika Govinda Sundara.
Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrata Kacharya Stutra Sachi Srimad bhaktyā Paramadvaiti Maharaj Gurudeva Ki Jai!